Here's something that might shock you. Those dangerous coyotes everyone fears are responsible for only 3 human bites per year across all of the United States and Canada combined. Yet, dogs kill 33 people annually in the U.S. alone. So why does an animal that's statistically safer than your neighbor's golden retriever generate so much controversy and fear? Meet Hance Ellington, a wildlife ecology professor at the University of Florida who's been dedicated to unraveling the mysteries of coyote behavior since 2010. Working from the Range Cattle Research and Education Center, which operates under the UF Institute of Food and Agricultural Sciences, Ellington has made it his mission to separate coyote facts from fiction. What fascinates me most about coyotes is their remarkable intelligence and adaptability, Ellington explains. These animals demonstrate an incredible range of behaviors and can thrive in virtually any environment you can imagine. Unfortunately, this adaptability often puts them at odds with human interests, which is precisely why understanding their true nature becomes so crucial for developing effective conflict management strategies. Ellington's expertise didn't develop overnight. His doctoral research at Trent University in Ontario focused on coyote ecology and their complex relationships with caribou populations in Newfoundland. Later, during his postdoctoral studies at The Ohio State University, he continued diving deeper into coyote behavior patterns. But here's where it gets controversial. Much of what the general public believes about these animals is fundamentally wrong. Florida's hidden coyote population, more common than you think. Here's a question that might surprise you. Exactly how many coyotes call Florida home? The honest answer is that nobody knows for certain. But what we do know is that they've successfully colonized virtually every corner of the Sunshine State. This widespread distribution challenges the common misconception that coyotes are primarily Western animals. The population density varies significantly based on environmental factors. Areas offering abundant food sources and fewer apex predators, such as regions without Florida panthers or the invasive Burmese pythons dominating South Florida, can support much higher coyote concentrations. This means your suburban neighborhood might host more coyotes than the seemingly wild Everglades. And this is the part most people miss. Coyotes have become masters at urban living. Urban coyotes, your feline friends, are at risk. If you're a cat owner living in Florida's cities or suburbs, this next section demands your immediate attention. Coyotes have not only adapted to urban environments, they're thriving in them. The natural instinct that keeps these animals wary of humans can be completely overridden when they discover easy food sources in residential areas. In their natural habitat, coyotes maintain incredibly diverse diets. They consume plant materials including various fruits and nuts, while also hunting rodents, rabbits, reptiles, birds, and insects. Their scavenging behavior makes them nature's cleanup crew, removing carrion that might otherwise pose health risks. But here's where urban living transforms their behavior dramatically. City and suburban coyotes expand their menu to include pet food left outdoors, garbage, and other human food waste. More alarmingly, they actively hunt cats and small dogs, particularly during nighttime hours when these pets are most vulnerable. The solution isn't complex, but it requires consistent vigilance. Dog owners must keep their pets on short leashes in areas where coyotes have been spotted, especially in natural urban spaces like parks and wooded trails. Cat owners face a more straightforward but often controversial recommendation. Keep cats indoors permanently. And this is where many pet owners push back. But is your cat's outdoor freedom worth the risk? The attack myth. Separating fear from reality. Here's a statistic that challenges everything you've probably heard about coyote aggression. Coyote bites occur approximately 3 times per year across the entire United States and Canada combined. To put this in perspective, only 2 confirmed human deaths from coyote attacks have ever been recorded in these countries, while domestic dogs kill about 33 people annually in the United States alone. So why does the perception of coyote danger persist so strongly? The answer lies in behavioral conditioning and human psychology. When coyotes discover reliable food sources, whether intentional feeding or accessible garbage, they return repeatedly to these locations. This repeated exposure gradually erodes their natural fear of humans, creating potentially dangerous situations. The increased risk primarily affects toddlers and small children, who may trigger predatory responses in habituated coyotes. Additionally, simply seeing more coyotes in an area can spark disproportionate fears of attack, regardless of whether the threat is genuine. This psychological response often leads to overreaction and unnecessary control measures. When aggressive coyote behavior does occur, residents should immediately report these incidents to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. But here's the controversial question. Are we creating these problems through our own actions, then blaming the animals for adapting to the opportunities we provide? Understanding foraging, the key to coexistence. Coyotes, much like humans, make calculated daily decisions about where and when to search for food. However, the specific cues they use for these decisions remain largely mysterious to researchers. While scientists suspect these choices are based on perceived ease of access to food sources, the detailed mechanisms behind their decision-making process remain unclear. This knowledge gap creates significant challenges for wildlife managers and residents alike. Without understanding the precise factors that influence coyote foraging behavior, predicting where and when they'll hunt or forage in rangelands, forests, or urban areas becomes nearly impossible. Most human coyote conflicts occur in 2 primary situations: when coyotes are actively foraging or hunting, and near their den sites during breeding season. If researchers can decode the patterns behind these behaviors, wildlife managers could develop targeted prevention and control strategies that significantly reduce conflicts while maintaining ecological balance. But here's where it gets controversial. Is our inability to predict and manage coyote behavior a failure of science? Or are we simply dealing with an animal that's too intelligent and adaptable for traditional wildlife management approaches? Livestock predation, challenging rancher assumptions. The relationship between coyotes and livestock represents one of the most contentious aspects of human-wildlife conflict. Florida ranchers frequently report coyote predation on calves, goats, and sheep, leading to widespread assumptions about the economic impact of coyote populations on agricultural operations. However, scientific evidence paints a dramatically different picture. 2 comprehensive University of Florida studies tracked 711 newborn calves from birth through weaning across 5 ranches in Collier, Hendry, and other southwest Florida counties. The results were striking. This discrepancy between rancher reports and scientific findings likely stems from coyotes' scavenging behavior. When coyotes are discovered feeding on dead calves, the natural assumption is predation. However, these animals frequently scavenge livestock that died from other causes: disease, birthing complications, or environmental stress, making predation appear more common than it actually occurs. The research suggests that coyote attacks on calves are exceptionally rare and don't represent a significant economic threat to most Florida cattle operations. Several factors contribute to this low predation rate. Coyotes typically have abundant alternative food sources, and mother cows actively defend their offspring, making healthy calves a high-risk, low-reward target. However, the possibility remains that individual coyotes or family groups could develop calf hunting behaviors at specific ranches. This potential for learned behavior creates ongoing tension between scientific evidence and rancher experiences. But here's the controversial question. Should wildlife management policies be based on documented evidence or perceived threats? Current research. Unlocking coyote secrets. Ellington's current research focuses on comprehensive coyote ecology across Florida's diverse landscapes. His team studies how these animals move, behave, and utilize space in rangelands, forests, and urban environments. But the research goes beyond simple observation. They're investigating the reasoning behind coyote choices. For example, researchers examine how coyotes select travel routes. Do they prefer natural cover for protection? Do they actively avoid busy roads? Were they drawn toward areas with higher food concentrations? Understanding these decision-making processes could revolutionize human-wildlife conflict management. This research aims to predict where conflicts with humans are most likely to occur, enabling wildlife managers to implement targeted strategies that reduce these conflicts while preserving coyotes' crucial ecological role. These animals control rodent and rabbit populations, remove carrion that could spread disease, and disperse seeds from consumed fruits, contributing significantly to ecosystem health. The ecological truth about coyotes. Despite the controversy surrounding their presence, coyotes serve essential functions in Florida's ecosystems. They control populations of small mammals that could otherwise become agricultural pests or disease vectors. Their scavenging behavior provides important cleanup services, removing dead animals that might attract flies and spread pathogens. Additionally, their fruit consumption and subsequent seed dispersal contributes to plant diversity and forest regeneration. But here's where the controversy deepens. If coyotes provide such valuable ecological services, why do we continue to view them primarily as pests to be controlled rather than wildlife to be managed? Are we missing opportunities for better coexistence by focusing on elimination rather than understanding? The evidence suggests that most human-coyote conflicts stem from our own actions, providing food sources, failing to secure garbage, allowing pets to roam unsupervised. Yet we consistently blame the animals for adapting to the opportunities we create. This raises an uncomfortable question. Who's really responsible for these conflicts? What do you think? Are coyotes the dangerous predators many people believe them to be, or are they simply intelligent animals adapting to human-modified landscapes? Should we focus on elimination or coexistence? Have your own experiences with coyotes matched the scientific evidence? Or do you have stories that challenge these findings? Share your thoughts and experiences. This is exactly the kind of discussion that can help bridge the gap between perception and reality in wildlife management.